Hello, this is an edition after I've completed the video that you're sort of watching. So I'm adding this on at the beginning because I made a very basic error. I put 11 pages in each of these instead of 10, and I really only want 10 pages in each one. So I have taken out the little French page from each of the books. So I've now got 10 pages. So carry on watching and you'll see how I put the pages together. Sorry about that. Hello everyone and welcome. We're going to do the pages now in our Traveller's Notebook. I think I said before I'm only going to put 10 pages in. So if we do 30 prompts in one book, that'll give us a few extra sides. Sometimes I'm aiming to do single sides rather than double page spreads in this, but there might be the opportunity to do one or two. So I have chosen 4 plain sheets of tea-dyed paper. I have chosen 2 or 3 more plainish sheets. I've got a ledger. This is from an architectural book, a music sheet. This is from an old French book. Then I've got, this is from a botanical book. This is from Benningfield's Country Side, I think it's called, and that's fairly plain. And then I've chosen a botanical image from the Victorian Flower Album book, which is going to be my outside cover. So this one is a similar pink. I'm not too worried that it's cream rather than sort of white. It looks fine on the inside. So I have cut this already. I haven't had to alter the height. It fits just inside, which is perfect. And I've cut it to 8 3/4 this way. And I'm not going to, so it's pretty much 8.5, just a touch under 8.5 by 8 3/4. I'm going to fold it in half this way. And I'm not worried about the grain anymore at this point. It would be nice if I could fold them all with the grain, but it doesn't work like that really for me. And then I slot that in there to see where we're at size wise. And because I want the pages to be as large as possible, what I mean is to come up to the edges of this book as closely as possible. That's pretty much perfect for our outer layer. Okay, so then I go pretty much plain patterned. You can alter these a bit to give some fold, so that, as luck would have it, I folded it exactly right. That doesn't happen very often. And then I'm going to fold this in. I'm going to fold it just so that it comes inside that previous page, because if I'm cutting anything down later on, I don't want to cut that fold off. To me, it is slightly off. You'll probably think I'm being overly fussy, but I am just going to shave a little bit off the edge. Just like that. I like my pages to match up as closely as possible. So that's plain, and then let's go for a patterned one. So I'll go for the music sheet. And with this one, I'm just going to put it inside this one, and I'm going to cut it down. So I use a steel ruler and sharp craft knife. So you could decide at this stage whether you want some of this unmarked paper. So let's do it like that. Just do one cut. That's our 3rd page. Another another of these. This time I'm just going to cut it because I'm using A4 paper rather than the American 8.5. A4 is slightly under 8.5, so these won't be quite as tall as my outer edge, but that's fine. That doesn't bother me particularly. This one, I need to make a decision whether I'm going to cut this raggedy edge off. And I don't think I will. Cut that one down there. And then I think we'll go for the French one, maybe. So this is quite delicate paper. When I fold it, you can see that it's cracking slightly. So for that one, let's cut it down first. And when we come to put the book together, we can position it wherever we like. But I'm just going to strengthen the spine of this one, but I don't want it to break. So I'm going to use some washi tape. It's a little bit of extra strength with that glue stick. And hopefully I can find the edge of this. Okay. And I'm going to go right round with this one. So let's do that. Just line that up. Just press that out again. So that's that one. One next. I'm going to go back to the full size one I've got here. When you get used to doing this, when you're past a beginner, you can turn some of these into pockets at the tops and bottoms. I'm keeping this pretty simple for now. Okay, so that's that one. And then we'll go for another plain one. And I'm going to go back because I feel as if I've got 3 of those together. Let's pop this one in here. So I've got these together. I managed to cut that down too much, but never mind. And we'll have this one, and I'm going to fold a pocket into this, not a pocket, a flap. And then don't want, so I'm just sort of easing this across until it's roughly I'm going to cut this rough edge off here. I'm going to hope that this is going to work, but I think it's going to be too wide. Oh, maybe not. There we go. So we've got a flap here which just fits. Just cut that edge off. Another plain one. And then this one I thought could be in the middle, so that we've got a bit of pattern in the middle. Let's just do it. I'll cut these 3 edges off. That is our 10 pages. So what I'm going to do is go through that again, but more slowly, with the second lot of pages for our second journal. Probably would have made more sense to go through the first one slowly, but let's leave it like that. If you're happy with that, obviously you can finish this video and wait for the next one, which I'll show you how we stitch, or how I stitch in. But this is our basic book. But if you want to watch me do it again, I'll take you through it, as I say, more slowly. So for this one, let's start again with our outer page. I've measured 4 3/4, not 4 3/4, 4 1/4 it should be, or 4 3/8. Let's do 4 1/4 and see where we're at. Just because I want to do this in a slightly different way to show you. Yep, so it needs to be 4 3/8. Get all of that. Mark 4 3/8. 3/8, and I'm going to fold on that line. It's there and there. You see how that fits in my book, and it does. And then I'm going to fold this in for a pocket. And I want it to be slightly shorter this way than the other side, just so that I don't mistakenly cut it down. So that's that. So yeah, 4 3/8 if you want to do it this way, and that will fit in there fine. I'm going to just take, it's very, very close to the edge, so I'm just going to take a sliver off this edge. And that's perfect. Okay. So with this one, the way I'm going to do it is slightly different, just to show you a different way of dealing with everything. For this one, I'm just going to literally fold everything in half to start with. Might prefer this way of organising your pages, not so much cutting them down, but organising your pages. So remembering that our first page is cut to the size we want, I'm just going to go through and order these into how I want them to be. So I'm going to go plain, patterned, plain, patterned, that plain one, and that one, sorry, I might be off camera, oh, I'm so sorry, there we go. And then we'll go with the music one, that one, that one. So I've now got a reasonable order for my pages, or one that I quite like. I might take that one out of there and put a cream one in the middle there, which looks fine. And I've got the same one in the middle. So let's take this out and we just start cutting them down in the same way. I always use a bone folder to do the inner crease so that we get a good, they fit together well, or as well as they can. And you do need a sharp craft knife for this. This is our next one. So we can decide at this point if we want to shorten that. I think what I'm going to do with this one this time, I don't really want too many pockets in this journal. I'm trying to keep it simple, but we will turn this into some side pockets just so I can show you. So I'm pushing my thumbs in here, and then I'm going to fold this side in. I'll push my fingers down there and fold this side in. Just take that out again, give that another crease. So that's that one. This is our next one. I've got my pile here on the side. This one I'm going to reinforce again with the washi tape, just because it's old and cracking. It's quite late in the afternoon here, and it's October now, as you obviously are all aware. Sorry, well, maybe you're not, because I don't know when I'm uploading these, but it's October. So the light is not great, I'm afraid. So that one, we're just going to cut the edges off that one. It's coming together. Next page is this one. I'm just going to take this rough edge off. This is where I've torn it out of the book. Could leave that on, but for this particular process I'm not going to do that. And I'm not cutting it, I'm always cutting it down with one of my full-sized pages. You don't have to cut them down if you like. Some people like, you know, pages sticking out, that type of thing. I'm not so keen on that. Well, I am, but not when I do it. This is another one that we could make pockets, but I think this time we will, what shall we do with this one? I think we'll just cut it down this time. Some of these strips I would keep for collage, but not all of them. There's that one, and now this, that's my last one. Let's pop these together. This music one, I'm just going to have a look at this in terms of how deep it is this way, because I think we can make this into a pocket at the bottom. So what I'm going to do with this one is cut it down to start with. Probably keep those for collage, and then the bottom I'm going to turn up so we've got a pocket on the inside of that one, and then I redo that with it folded, which just helps. There we go. Last but one, put that in there, and then our centre. I don't tend to use what I call my best pages for my own books. So these aren't gorgeous book pages or particularly vintage ledgers and things. I save those for the books that you guys might want at some point. I've sold a few. And certainly for this purpose, I'm not too bothered. So that's our second set of pages. Pockets there. Just 10. And those are going to fit in there. So the next thing I'm going to do is sew these in. When I started making journals, which is a long time ago now, I nearly always sewed my pages in before I decorated them. I don't do that now. I tend to decorate the pages quite a lot before I sew them into my books, but that's because I do a lot of embellishing on the journals that I put up for sale. I also do a lot of stitching, and I thought for this process it would probably make more sense if we kept it simple, and just made straightforward junk journals that we're going to fill using those prompts. So I'm going to sew these directly in, which means that if we do add any flip outs, pockets and things, we will probably do it mainly with glue, or we will stitch first and then glue. So thank you if you've got to the end of this. Hopefully you can see what I've done clearly. Any questions, just ask, and I'll be back with the stitching.